Audio's just off right there. That's it. So right here. Did somebody touch the HM when he said turn it off? Because it's off. And this is easy for any of these guys. Like you never know, Mac might reach over. So I have to like
Project. Don't pause. What is your keyboard enough? What is your
public live stream.
Public?
My defensive and a friend want to watch it, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't care.
Oh no, there might be illegal consequences.
Then there won't be.
Do this.
Wait, wait, your name has nothing to do with this.
My club is gonna be
You get yourself involved, and your name's gonna be on it.
You tell me to do it? KCS Studios is gonna be in trouble.
I'll take over, don't worry.
Talk to Miss Coleman.
No.
Talk to Miss Coleman. Dobermill. No. This is a legal issue.
Tell her everything will be alright. Wait, what? It'll be fine.
There's a lot he
He's not a lawyer.
He could be. He has the education.
He got
I don't want to They can just skip it. They don't look normal. Yes. My line is so insignificant in this part. Hey. What's the point of that? Is it just because is it just for me to be in the scene?
What? Is it my fault? I want to post on Instagram.
Ethan!
I want to take a picture from the past so there's no legal issues. Post it on Instagram.
There are legal issues. Your life's going down.
I actually don't know.
I do not support this. I'm not a part of it. I am not bothering you. Go talk to Miss. Oh.
you are able to stand, please do. I would like to acknowledge that this school is situated upon the traditional territories. The territories include the Wendat, Anishinaabe Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nations, and the Métis Nation. The treaty that was signed for this particular parcel of land is collectively referred to as the Toronto Purchase and applies to lands east of Brown's Line to Woodbine Avenue and north towards Newmarket. I also recognize the enduring presence of Aboriginal peoples on this land.
As people of African descent, we offer land recognition in solidarity with the indigenous peoples of Turtle Island in the efforts and deliberate intentions towards decolonization. We acknowledge the land of Turtle Island that was never meant to be owned. We acknowledge that most of the land that was entrusted to the indigenous peoples was in some cases shared by choice, but all too often taken by force. We recognize the historical colonialism and the ongoing colonialism that has led to the present-day situation where land acknowledgements are offered in place of land. As people of African descent, many of us are here by choice, while many of us are here as a result of historical force. We acknowledge the complexities where we were promised land that was never given by those who it was never to give. As people of African descent, we acknowledge the land of Turtle Island that sustains us, express deep gratitude to its indigenous peoples, and pledge honor, our dignity, and divinity that ultimately connects us all.
In the streets to do asking questions about black. Oh my Hi guys, welcome to Word on the Streets. Today we'll be asking students questions about Black History Month. Come on, let's go. Is it plantain or plantain?
Plantain.
Plantain, of course.
Plantain. It's a black too, bro, black too. Plantain, that's crazy, that's wild. What does being black mean to you?
Being black is like everything. Like, I love being black, so happy Black History Month to everybody watching me. Yes, you are black, I know you watching me. You.
Being black to me is power.
Being black is more than a color to me. It's more like a lifestyle, the food I eat, the way I dress, and the way I speak.
Yeah, like there's certain things like I would go to a different culture that don't feel like the same, and like such as like tacos and things like that nature. Now I feel like you can do certain stuff in South still like New Orleans for food bowls and things like that. So like we all have like certain cultures that Black history just is included in my culture because due to the fact though.
What does Black History Month mean to you?
Black History Month means a lot. Obviously, more than just a month. It's about the people that suffered for us to get here and the freedom that we're now.
To me, Black History Month means celebrating the accomplishments that Black people have made and celebrating our culture, our hair, our heritage.
Like, it's really dedicated to Black people, but I feel like it's all dedicated all around for real. Like I feel like it's for people to enjoy and like come through as a community to embrace something that like we haven't had, but still family.
Celebrating Black people and the ones that you know they can never fight for their own communities. So that's what Black History Month means to me.
What do you think the future of Black history is going to look like?
To be honest, based on my own perspective, Black History Month is going to be more more diverse. It's going to be more, how to say this, fantastic. That's what I say.
It's gonna be very good. Like there's a very big future out for everybody that's black, you know. We're there, we're here, I don't know, but we're here. Black everybody here.
I think the future of Black history will focus on Black accent.
I don't know the question. Which generation is Nigerian?
You already know the accent, Nigerian.
Ghanaian jollof, of course.
100% Nigerian jollof.
Nigerian jollof, Nigerian jollof.
That is deserving of a national holiday named after them. Through their acts and those millions of accomplishments, let's look at who they choose. Harry Jerome. Harry Jerome was a Canadian track and field sprinter. At 18, he broke the world's record for a 220-yard dash and tied with a 100-yard dash as well as a 440-yard relay. He deserves to be honored with a national holiday because he shows that anything is possible. Even when others told him he would never race again after surgery for a ruptured thigh muscle, he persevered and went on to win the 60-yard dash in 6 seconds.
Debbie Armstrong. Debbie Armstrong was the first Black woman to qualify for the swim team at the University of Calgary, as well as the Canadian Olympic team. She deserves to be honored with a national holiday in February because she worked hard and inspired others through her good sportsmanship and dedication to the sport. Beulah Desmond. Beulah Desmond was an entrepreneur who sold beauty products and owned a music school. She deserves to be honored with a national holiday because she made a big impact for the fight for equality when she was arrested in 1946 for refusing to give up her seat in a segregated movie theater in Nova Scotia. Her courage and determination continues to inspire people to fight against injustice.
Kay Livingstone. Kay Livingstone founded the Canadian Negro Women Association in 1951 and organized the first National Congress of Black Women in 1973. Her passion inspired conversation about racialized individuals in society, which led her to invent the phrase visible minority. Setting aside one day in February to honor her and her legacy, to commemorate her contributions to civil rights in Canada.
Ms. Petrelli's and Ms. Reda's grade 12 classes have been discussing the importance of Black lived experience and authentic voice in literature. Let's listen to Sienna Buchanan and Annabelle read the poem, Ballad of Birmingham.
Mother dear, may I go around town instead of out today and march the streets of Birmingham in a freedom march today?
No, baby, no, you may not go, for the dogs are fierce and wild, and the clubs and hoses and guns and jails are good for a little child.
But mother, I won't be alone. Other children will go with me and march the streets of Birmingham
To make our country free.
No, baby, no, you may not go, for I fear those guns will fire. But you may go to church instead
And sing in the children's choir. She is combed and brushed her night dark hair, and bathed in rose petal sweet, and drawn white gloves on her small brown hands, and white shoes on her feet.
The mother smiled to know her child was in this sacred place, but that smile was the last smile to come upon her face.
For when she heard the explosion, her eyes grew wet and wild. She raced through the streets of Birmingham,
Calling for her child. She clawed through the bits of glass and brick, then lifted out a shoe. Oh, here's the shoe my baby wore, but baby, where are you?
Black Lives Matter has been an instrumental in creating change in the Black community. What began as a hashtag movement on social media has gone into a social justice movement, with chapters across North America, with one here in Toronto.
Let's hear from Mohaga Sanaya Shukri about the importance of this movement.
Black Lives Matter. The beginning of the Black Lives Matter movement in Charlotte started in 2013. It was started by Janaya Hawk, a Black Canadian activist. She started Black Lives Matter after the death of 33-year-old Berlin Harvey, who died in Brampton due to police brutality.
Black Lives Matter held many protests to disrupt systematic anti-Black racism, despite outcry from other crowds after their acts of protest. After much work, they achieved the demand of a divestment and defunding of the School of Resource Officer Program, youth education officers, and of police in schools to ensure an environment safe from intimidation, harassment, and violence towards students. This protects Black students from brutality and violence within schools like Kipling Collegiate Institute.
The BLM movement made lives better for Black Canadians because so far they made a lot of progress and impact on the police, the law, and society as a whole. Currently, the BLM movement is still happening. There are still so many protests and a variety of social media movements going on for BLM as well. The fight is only just beginning.
Black Lives Matter.
Now let's welcome the spinning wizardry of Nana Babachi, who will grace this assembly with his DJing skills.
There's something different on this golden morning, something magical in the sunlight, bright and warm. I see a dad with a stroller, taking a jog. Across the street, a bright-eyed girl chases her dog. A grandma on the porch remembers her rosary. She grins as her young neighbor brings her groceries. While you might feel small, separate, and all alone, our people have never been more closely gathered. The question isn't if we will weather this unknown, but how we will weather this unknown together. On this meaningful morn, we mourn and we lament. Like life, we can't be broken even when we fail. As one, we will defeat both despair and disease. We stand with healthcare heroes in all employees, with families, libraries, schools, waiters, arts, businesses, restaurants, and hospitals hit artists.
We ignite not in the light, but in laughter of, for it is in us that we truly learn to love. In this chaos, we will discover clarity. In suffering, must find solidarity. For it's our grief that gives us our gratitude, shows us how to find hope if we ever lose it. So ensure that this age wasn't endured in vain. Do not ignore the pain, give it purpose you can. Read children's books, dance alone to DJ music. Know that this distance will make our hearts grow fonder. From a wave of woes, our world will emerge stronger. We'll observe how the burden braved by humankind are also the moments that make us humans kind. Let every dawn find us courageous, draw closer, heeding the light before the fight is over. When this ends, we'll smile sweetly, finally seeing, and testing times became the best of the beings.
Miss Long's grade 10 students have been learning about the work of numerous Black artists like Issa Butler, Njideka Kuniyi Crosby, and Charles McGee. Looking at the connections between the art and the artist's culture, and identities such as Issa Butler's quotes that reference the importance of textile art to Black slaves. Let's hear from Cristobal, who will discuss these exhibitions.
The following Black artists celebrate a bright future for Black communities. Their work is currently on display all around Toronto. The Just Us mural program aims to create awareness surrounding social injustice, equity, race relations, and community engagement. A free exhibit of the murals is now at the Worth Gallery. The murals involved in this program represent current issues, hopes, and imagined futures for Black communities. Philip Saunders, one of the mural artists, wants viewers to feel joy and reflectiveness when looking at his art. I'm in a place where I want to represent my people and educate those who don't know about this lineage and history that is sitting there as a gold mine for us. All across Toronto, you can see art by Black artists that celebrates the contributions of Black Torontonians. This portrait of Dr. Utah Sadhu, an award-winning author, was created by Indigo Coco, a young Black artist from Toronto whose art represents Black culture and love and Afrofuturism. This portrait of Beverly Salmon is also by Indigo Coco, who's pictured here on the right. You can see it for free at St. Andrews subway station. Zach Ove is a British Trinidadian artist who works between sculpture, film, and photography. His 18-foot sculpture, Moko Jumbe, is currently on display at the AGO. It represents a Trinidadian carnival character who was thought to protect communities. I've grown up through an era where we've had to create and fill in all these blanks and missing spaces where we didn't exist. So how do we imagine a better future and a better world? We must use our art to enhance that. Franz Matt Harris's Afrophilia Beloved is visible downtown at 355 Adelaide Street, a short walk from St. Andrews subway station. His artwork represents Black love, and this piece stands strong against racism and prejudice. It also represents his ancestors' dream for advocating for a culture of self-acceptance. Black people have had to have the agency to enjoy life regardless of what is going on. And the thing is, it's looked upon as resistance because we're not expected to. And ending with Harris's own words, the best revenge against racism is your own joy.
A trailblazer is someone who accomplishes
Dr. Martin Luther King was the most well-known contributor to the American Civil Rights Movement during the 1960s. Dr. King helped enact changes with the law such as the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the 1965 Voting Rights Act for African Americans. John Lewis sought to change the laws of discrimination by organizing sit-in at white-owned lunch counters and other segregated public spaces. Recently in 2023, the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Act strengthens the Voting Rights Act of 1965 for African Americans.
I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Sherry Shajuju. Ms. Shajuju is a take-charge businesswoman who currently holds the position of Black Business Developer at One Voice, One Team, a non-profit organization providing youth leadership programs, mentorships, and school assemblies to empower kids.
She is also an inspirational speaker who expertly balances career, serving, and family. In 2019, Sherry released her first book, The Metamorphosis, a Diamond Story. In the hopes the reader will be able to see themselves in the main character Diamond and be inspired to cope with hopeless situations. Sherry's mission and mandate are to inspire people to awaken their most authentic selves so they can have meaningful experiences with life positively. She does this through keynote speaking events, authenticity coaching, one-on-one mentoring, corporate training, business development, and serving her community. Her down-to-earth yet vibrant style of speaking and connecting with others keeps her audiences engaged and her clients empowered. Now let's welcome Sherry to the stage.
What's going on? What's up? What's up? Kimberly Collegiate Institute, also known as KCI. It's a pleasure to be here with you. First and foremostly, this is what I want to say. I'm not going to wait for you to listen because you're important to me. You're welcome. I know it's hard sometimes to pay attention. I know. I got to show attention span myself. So I'm only in front of you for 10 minutes, but I want your full 10 minutes. Because I think I have something that might be able to inspire, motivate, encourage, and empower you to understand how important you are. Not just how important you are to this world, but specifically this school. So let me just start by saying I'm from the South Bronx, the South Bronx, the South Bronx. Hey, nobody wants to work with me? No? Nobody? Damn! Let's try that again. I'm from the South Bronx, the South Bronx, the South Bronx, the South Bronx. I'm from New York City, the South Bronx, and that's an old school song, by the way. It's a rap by KRS-One. You look at it. YouTube it. But my mother was, I'm gonna wait for you. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for you. You're worth it. Thank you. My mother was an alcoholic at the time, and for a very long time in my childhood, and she was a prostitute. My father was a heroin addict. My older brother would look to me as a punching bag, and my younger brother would look to me as mama. That's where I grew up, in the midst of turmoil, in the midst of other people's struggles. Let me just say this first and foremostly, I absolutely and deeply respect and love my parents. They did the best they could with what they had and where they were at. That doesn't mean that I wasn't wanting or needed more from them. And so there were times I would go to school. And let me just say this as well, coming from the Bronx, you know, there's all these boroughs. There's Queens, there's Brooklyn, there's Bronx, there's Manhattan, and there's Staten Island. But the Bronx was and is still the most poverty-stricken borough in New York City. And so sometimes it was embarrassing to say you're from the Bronx. I don't know if you could ever relate, but you know, saying that you're from the Bronx is something that you didn't actually say. You'd say, you know, I'm from East 233rd, which could be in any borough. You say, oh, you know, I'm from the Grand Concourse. You know, for you to say that you were from the Bronx, it was like, oh, you're one of them. There was a stigma attached to it. And sometimes, if you didn't know who you were, you could allow that stigma to make you feel like like as if, yeah, that's true about me. I went to Langston Hughes Little People School, and Miss B changed my life. She changed my life because she allowed me to see myself in a way that I couldn't at home, and I definitely couldn't in my hood. But I could with her, and I could at school. She was a mirror for me. I would come to school, and I'm half black and half Puerto Rican. Puerto Rico in the house? Anybody? Puerto Rico? No, I'm by myself. Oh, that's cool. I come into school and my hair, it's curly sometimes, straight sometimes. I was confused. My hair was just confused, and there were times she'd be like, hey, no, mama. Hold on a second. Miss Tanya, can you please take her and comb her hair and then bring her into class? And so Miss Tanya would take me to the side, she would cornrow my hair, and then she'd bring me into class. There were other times that I'd come to school and I would look hungry. I wouldn't say I was hungry, but you could look at me and be like, she's hungry. And she would say to me, come here, little mama. And she would sit me down and she would give me a carton of milk and like a package of cookies. And she'd say, eat that and drink that and then come into class. There was a time when she would come and she would see me come to school and I'd have a dirty shirt. She'd say, hold on, no. And she would go and get a shirt from like the Lost and Found and then give me that shirt and put it on me. And then she said, and then go into class. Why would she do that? Why did she do that? Because she cared. She was the principal of Langston Hughes Little People School. But she cared about her young people coming in and learning. And she knew that, kids, none of y'all would do this, but kids are mean sometimes. And they would say stuff like, what's wrong with your hair? Man, you look, I won't say what they would say. But they won't always be kind. And so she didn't want that opportunity, even that moment, to distract me from learning. She wanted me to learn. She wanted me to grow. And so she removed those things. And because of that, she was my homegirl. Say that with me. Homegirl. You gotta say it like with your finger, and you gotta say it at the high. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Homegirl. Like 3 people are saying it. Thank you. Thank you, friend. I appreciate you. So Miss B was my homegirl. And so anything she asked me to do, it was yes, ma'am. Because she took care of me. Even more so than my mother sometimes, no fault of her own, she wasn't able to, but Miss B was there. And so when Miss B asked me to memorize something, she said, come here, Mama, I have this poem. And I don't know if you guys know Langston Hughes, but Langston Hughes was a black playwright in the Renaissance era. And he wrote plays as well as poems and stories that would ignite within anyone that would read them the thought of, there are better days coming for us, black people. There is more than what you see in us, black people. He would write things that would inspire you to think beyond your moment, think beyond the situation that you were in. So she gave me a poem and she said, I want you to memorize this, little mama. And I'm like, memorize? What that mean? And she said, I said, memorize. And I said, that's what I said, hello. She said, I want you to memorize this poem. It's a Langston Hughes poem and it's called I Dream a World. And you and Pierre are going to recite this in front of some people on Thursday. And so I had never memorized anything in my life. I had never done that. So I was like, okay, because she was mine. Right here. I don't know who it is, right here. Yeah, she was my homegirl. And because she was my homegirl and because she took care of me, because she cared about me, I was like, whatever you say, yes ma'am. Yes ma'am. So I learned how to do something that I'd never done before. I memorized a poem, or a part of a poem. I came back the next day, hey Miss B, what's up? She's like, you got that poem you memorized? I said, I sure did memorize it. She said, you mean memorize? I said, that's what I said. She said, okay, cool, I'm gonna come and pick you up at your house on Thursday, and we're gonna go. I said, whoa. One sec. You gonna come and pick me up? I was like, you gonna pick me up at my house? Now, y'all might not know, but in the 70s, yes, I was born in the 70s. Back in that time, in my hood, there was blacks and there was Hispanics. There was blacks and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. And there was no, no disrespect to anybody, there was no white people in my neighborhood. White people would come in and drive through my neighborhood. But if anybody of the Caucasian persuasion stopped into my area, that would not be a safe thing for them. And so I was concerned for Miss B because she was white. I was like, Miss B, I don't know if that's a good idea for you to come for me. Maybe I can maybe meet you somewhere. She's like, no, I'm gonna come and pick you up and I'll be fine. So Thursday came, and let me back up. I went home, and I couldn't believe it. My mother was there. Usually when I come home, she wasn't there. She was there this one time. I told her, yo, Miss B told me to memorize this thing, and I memorized it, and now me and Pierre are gonna go and say it on Thursday. Hey, you wanna come? And she said, oh yeah, I'll come. I said, oh wait now, you wanna come? Now remember, my mother was struggling with some things. She's not very present most of the time. So for me to even ask her, that was wild. But for her to even say yes was even more wild, and I got excited. I was 8 years old, I was a kid, I was excited, wow. Now my mother's gonna come, she's gonna see me do something I've never done before. We're gonna move out of this hood and live in a deluxe apartment in the sky. Like, we just moving on up. I just felt like that was what's gonna happen. When you're a kid, you dream big. So the day came, Miss B came. She got Pierre in the back. She said, listen to me, Pierre. When I leave this car, I want you to lock the door. When you see me come back out with Sherry, I want you to unlock the door. She said, okay? He said, okay. So she came out of the car was still running. She ran past the rats up the stairs, up the other stairs, came and knocked on the door, pop, pop, pop. I opened the door, click, 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 click. I opened the door, I said, what's up? She said, you ready to go home? I said, yes, I am. I was so proud. Miss Tanya had done my hair. I had my little Buster Browns on. I had a green and yellow button dress. I was ready. My mother, who was coming from the living room, she was behind me. I turned around and said, Mom, you ready? Let's go. She said, child, please, I ain't going nowhere with you. And she walked off into the bedroom. Pause. How do you feel for that little girl right there? Say it out. Sad. Hurt. What else? Disappointed. Betrayed. Unwanted. Right? You feel confused, you feel embarrassed, you feel a plethora of emotions in that moment in time. But Miss B was like, we don't got no time for that. She went, poof, picked me up, ran back down the stairs, other stairs, ran past the grass, open the door, Pierre. She put me in, click, click. She put the seatbelt on, and she went, off she goes. And I'm in the back there, and I'm like this. This is stupid. I don't care about this. Nobody wants to hear about Langston Hughes. No way. Nobody's going to care about what he has to say. I'm not doing this. I don't care. She don't care. I don't care. I was hurt. You get me? I was hurt. Pierre didn't know what was going on. Pierre sitting next to me. Pierre was like, hey, sure. I said, man, please, you ugly. Poor thing. Poor thing. You know, everybody say, oh, poor Pierre. Poor Pierre. Yeah. It wasn't his fault, but her people. And I was hurt. No excuses, but I was hurt. So we get to the place. It was very much like this. I was standing over there behind the curtains with Miss B, and I was still upset. I was still hurt. And she just kept on saying these 3 things to me. And I never want you to ever, if you listen to nothing I say, don't ever forget this. She said, it's okay, little mama. I believe in you. You can do this. That was it. She said, it's okay, little mama. I believe in you. You can do this. She kept on saying that over and over. She didn't correct me. She didn't say, change your behavior. She didn't say, you got to stop talking like that. She just said, it's okay, little mama. I believe in you. You can do this. By the 3rd time, she came down and stooped real close to me and held my face and said it. And in my heart, I was like, why does she keep on saying that? Why does she keep on saying, it's okay, she believes in me, I can do this. What is this about? I feel like she sees something in me. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe she sees something that I don't see. And because she had deposited so many moments of care in my life, being my thank you, Mama. Thank you. My man right here. Because she was my home girl, and she had deposited so many times where she took care of me. When she asked me to do something, it was yes, ma'am. And in that moment when she looked at me and said, it's okay, no, Mama, I believe you can do this.
I believed her, okay? And not only did I believe her, but I went out there.
On that stage, here we go. I went out on the stage, and Pierre was bugging because Pierre was like, listen, we did not, practice this by ourselves. We actually did this together, and I can't even leave here. I'm gonna stay right here. Here we go. I'm gonna work it out. So I brought Pierre with me. I was like, come on, Pierre. And the poem was supposed to sound like da 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 da. We're 8 years old. We're in front of a theater of people, kids. We're gonna recite a poem. That's how we practiced it. But with all of the feelings that I felt in that moment, it came out a little different. I said, come on, Pierre, and we stomped out. We stomped out to the middle of the stage. Just imagine those two little kids right over there. They're right over there. And they got like this vibe about them. And I started off the poem, and it was supposed to be nice, but it came out like, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. And it was like, oh, this little girl rapping, or is she doing a poem? What is she doing? It came out, it came out with all of the emotion that I had. Very authentic to what I was feeling in that moment, but here's the thing. Hold up, pay attention now, you don't want to miss this, is the thing. Pierre was like, what the hell? We didn't practice it like that, but I'm no punk. So he came out with the and so it looked like these two little kids were like revolutionary fighters. We're saying all of these major words, and now we're like, I dream a world, right? Well, what happened was something that had never happened in my life before. We got a standing ovation. People were crying in the seats. Oh my God, these children are so passionate. I had never had that experience before. It was my first time ever being applauded, appreciated, and celebrated that in that way. What do you think she was feeling in that moment? What do you think she was feeling in that moment? Pride. Talk to me, you can. Happiness, elation. She was feeling ecstatic. She was feeling overwhelmed. She was feeling a joy that she had never ever felt before. That's what she was feeling. And those other feelings didn't just go away. Let me just make sure I'm clear. Those other feelings were very much present with her. They just didn't dominate her. They now had to compete with an amazing experience that now she could call her own. When I got to school the next day, Miss B came in and said, Pierre and Sherry were a part of a poetry contest. I was like, oh, you tricked me. I didn't know it was a contest. And she took out from behind her back 2 trophies, and they won first prize, and she gave it to us. And in that moment, I recognized myself in a different way. I was able to see my future now from a different lens. I could actually be somebody, not just the junkies kid, not just that tricks kid, the throwaway kid that always come into school with a black eye or some type of bruise. No, there was something more now. I could look, when we talk about look to the future, Miss B poured into me something that I would never ever be able to pay her back for. She gave me an image of what could be in my life, and I am forever in debt to her. So when I sing Lift Every Voice and Sing, when I sing songs that inspire people to look towards the future of a better tomorrow is because I know it firsthand. I have grown from that little girl to be an international speaker. I've grown from that little girl to be an actual author. Someone who actually empowers other people, a mentor and a coach. Someone who didn't even have a voice now has a voice to speak to. Wonderful people like you. And so as you look towards your future, what mark in history are you going to make? I would say, don't just leave a mark, leave a scar. Let them know you were here, KCI. And let them know who you were when you were here. Last thing I want to leave with you. Lift every voice and sing till our heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound far as rolling seas. So sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought. Let us march on till victory is won. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Josiah.
Today we have a series of questions for you. We'll start with you.
Can you share a specific moment or experience from your own life that greatly influenced your perspective on hope and transformation?
Yes, well, I kind of just shared it a little bit, but I will go into it a little deeper. You know, in that moment where she was saying, "It's okay, Mama, I believe in you can do it," it was transformational for me because I had to believe in something that I had never believed in before. And so I think that when it comes to transformation, the challenge is the unknown. The challenge is I've never done this before. I've never experienced this before. How can I know for sure that it's going to be great or it's going to be successful? And you've got to take a leap of faith. I think that that moment of me saying, "Come on, Pierre," dragging Pierre out there to do it, even in the midst of all of those emotions, I think that was the transformational action. So there's a transformational moment you have, and then there's an action that you take that kind of solidifies that moment and says, yeah, I'm going to take a step of faith and see what this is all about. And so that I would say that would be the moment for me when I say, come on, let's go. I I didn't know how it was gonna go. I didn't even know I was gonna get that trophy. I mean, you might as well have just said to me that Oscar goes too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so amazing for me. I didn't know any of that was gonna happen, but I took a step of faith. So I think it's taking a step of faith, and that was a transformational moment for me.
Thank you so much for your insight.
You're welcome.
My question to you is, how do you approach authenticity coaching and mentoring to help individuals make meaningful and holistic transformations in their life?
That's a big question. So when it comes to authenticity, I just want to say this. It has everything to do with you being willing to be aware of who you are. It's not really even, people say it was positive thinking. It's not even just that. It's being aware, like, who are you authentically? Who are you unapologetically? Who are you without hesitation? And so, to answer your question, how I approach that is, I go through a journey with people that I coach and people that I mentor, and I allow them to discover who they truly are at their core. And I do that in a safe and a brave space where people can truly not feel judgment. I think that sometimes when it comes to authenticity and trying to be your authentic self, you don't know if you're going to be accepted. That's the main thing. Are they going to accept me? Are they going to judge me? Are they going to look at me sideways, give me that side eye and exclude me? Nobody wants that feeling. However, if you don't take a step and say, I'm going to be who I really am, really, I'm taking no shorts, I'm just going to be me. If you don't take that route, you rob the world from seeing who you truly are at your core, and you rob yourself from truly being fulfilled and happy. And so at the end of the day, like, I don't know if you guys vibe me, but I'm being my authentic self right now because I've been with myself for so long and I accept myself and who I am. That's how you get comfortable moving around somebody, right? It's contagious, I feel. Did I answer your question? Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My question would be, you engage in things like speaking events, mentoring, and corporate training. How do you balance everything in your corporate life with everything in your personal life?
Child, it's not a balance. Let me tell you, that balance thing, don't try to achieve that. That's not even realistic. What is realistic, though, is compromise, realistic compromise, and prioritization. Those are the two things that I live by. Compromise, when I say compromise, from my professional and my personal, how to toggle back and forth to the two. Compromises, because sometimes you have to say no to things. You're going to have to say no. There are going to be people that want to invite you everywhere, bring you places. Can you do this for me? Can you please? And sometimes the answer's just got to be no. So one of the things I would say is I've gotten really good at saying no. The other thing when I say compromise is that sometimes you're going to have to let certain events or certain things go. Like, there's not everything that you have to be involved in. FOMO is not a thing for me. I don't fear of missing out. It's not my thing. Like, I feel like whatever is for me is for me. If I'm supposed to be there, then I'll be there. If I'm not, I'll watch the highlights. You know what I'm saying? On Instagram, for real. I'm not going to stress it out. I can experience it online as well. The other thing is prioritization. I try my best to plan my life, personally and professionally, 3 weeks window. Like, I like a 3-week schedule window so I know what's happening, And then, if things, I'll say in addition to prioritization, what do I need to do right now? What do I need to do now? Right? If there's something that I have to do now, okay, can it wait a day or so? All right, well, let's put it in. But there are things that I need to do right now, that's going to get my immediate attention. So between compromise and prioritization, that's where I find my happy place. I hope that answers your question.
So Sherry, your book, The Metamorphosis of Diamond Story, is a powerful narrative that inspires hope and transformation. Could you share a moment from your own life that mirrors Diamond's journey and how it fueled your passion for helping others see their potential to change?
Help others see potential to change. Okay. Well, I came here when I was 10 years old. I'll just let y'all know the gag is, my nickname is Diamond. So I am Diamond in the story. The Metamorphosis is a story about my life from the age of 0 to 18. And so one of the things that I will say that when it comes to transformation and embracing that is really letting fear come along with you for the ride. Sometimes when I came here, I was 10 years old. I was from New York City. 4-block radius is what I knew. I didn't know anything else. I came here, it was December there was grass on the ground. I'm used to concrete and empty lots, right? I'm not used to seeing so much grass and trees. So one of the things I said to my mom, I was like, wow, there's grass down here. That's crazy. And I was afraid of this place. The culture shock was a real thing. And I had to really embrace the Canadian culture. It was very different than my culture. My culture was like, make sure you watch your back, don't look people in the eye, because if you look people in the eye, you might have to square up. If you go on the train, you got to change, make sure you're sitting in the middle aisle, you're sitting at the door, like you're always on the defense. Where I was coming from here, people are like, good morning. I was like, what's wrong with you? I didn't know how to respond. So I would say, not allowing fear to have such a loud voice in your head when you are trying to make that transformation, when you are trying to embrace the metamorphosis. I had to embrace it because I was here. I was, 10 years old. I was with my brothers and my mother. I couldn't just get up and go back to New York City, so I had to embrace the change, and I had to embrace the transformation. But fear sometimes can get in the way of that transformation being as smooth and as powerful as it can be. When you embrace it and accept it for what it is and say, okay, fear, I'm afraid of this, but I'm still going to say good morning. When somebody says good morning to you, just say what happens. Just see what happens. Good morning. All right, I didn't get jumped. Oh, okay, then let's get it, And then you learn more when fear is not so much a loud influence in your life. You learn more, you grow more, and you can embrace more transformation. I hope that answered your question. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Sherry, for joining us at Kipling today. You really helped us look towards the future and gave us insight and great information. So thank you once again, and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome. So nice to meet you. Do you understand me?
Oh no, don't do this test. This one is beyond your capabilities.
Oh no, not that group. Here, work with these students. They're much more your ability level.
Are you sure you belong in this class?
It made me doubt my ability, my intelligence.
Oh, that's a very complicated name. I'll just call you Vinny.
Oh, what are you eating? That smells so interesting.
Do you understand what we're doing? If you want, I can explain to you more slowly.
Oh wow, your English is so good.
Enough!
Introducing Vanessa Queen, us girls are slim. If the girl them will tell them man say, me nah go get we never get we. Me say the body
Special thanks to our guest speaker, Sherry Shidru, for taking time to share their story with us. And last but not least, big thanks to many students who are part of the PSA at Kipling, who contributed their work and time towards making this event happen.